Hello and welcome to the Spandex and Wine podcast. I'm your host, Robin Hackney, and I'm so happy that you're here. This podcast is a place for conversations about balancing a healthy lifestyle and being happy, more specifically, happy hour. Together, we'll explore all things wellness and wine. I hope you learn a little, laugh a lot, and along the way, know you're not alone on this balanced wellness journey. Ready to jump in? Pour something in your glass that makes you happy because it's time for Spandex and Wine. Thanks for joining me today for the Spandex and Wine podcast. I'm your host, Robin Hackney, and today's guest is someone that always makes me laugh, and we could all use a little more laughter in our lives, right? She's a mom, she's a wife, she's a substitute teacher, and an Instagram influencer, being her authentic self and helping others to laugh through life's ups and downs. Here is Kara Murray. Well, hello and welcome to the Spandex and Wine podcast, Kara. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Robin.
Yes. Okay, I have to tell you that I absolutely love following you on Instagram and your reels. You are hilarious.
Oh, that is very kind. Thank you so much. Glad I could make you smile, brighten your day.
Yes. I think my favorite are when you do the menopause hotline, because it is just so true. And we're all out there struggling. And if we don't laugh about it, what the hell are we going to do?
I know that seems to be a favorite. Kind of took off for me. Those are the ones that have seemed to gone a little viral. But yeah, I don't even know how that came about. It just popped into my head one day, and yeah, we are all struggling / suffering with so many symptoms, and yeah, we gotta laugh about it just to get through it.
And I love the Louise from Sesame Street. Agua.
Oh my God, I love when people got that reference, because that lives in my head to this day.
Gosh.
And those of us who grew up on Sesame Street, yeah.
Yes.
So I was like, what is thirstier than that? So that can be
That is great. So for the listeners, I'm going to say this again at the end, and I'm going to put it in the show notes, but you can find Kara at Mediocre Mom 76. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. And she just jokes about all things menopause. And just like in general, like I know I don't do reels because I'm like, okay, I haven't showered. I get up really early and this is what I look like, and it's just not going to get any better. But I love how you're just like, I'm just going to do it.
This is me, yeah, and the horrible mess that I am sometimes.
Yes.
But that's what I wanted, if anything, to put on. It's something that makes you smile and laugh, but also that's a little bit more real. Like,
yeah, definitely.
No pun intended. Yeah.
Or intended. I don't know. I want to know your story, but I also have to tell you the other post, or the reel, that I really liked. When you were walking through Costco with the swimsuit that was in the cardboard. Oh my gosh. Now, okay, there's two reasons why I like that. It's hilarious, but it's also like, that's how we feel sometimes when we put our swimsuit on. We feel like we're that giant cardboard walking around and people are looking at us, and it doesn't even matter.
No one cares. Yeah, probably no one noticed the cardboard torso hanging out of my cart, but it was like so ridiculous. And I did think in that moment, like, I was like, this is a bold move. Like, yep, I'm picking it up. It's one of the biggest sizes, and she's coming home with me because I know she fits.
Oh my gosh.
And
that cracked me up.
I actually have a follow-up reel with the actual swimsuit on, because I was like, oh, I never showed the swimsuit.
Oh, good. Okay. I have to go back and look then. That's awesome.
Just keep your expectations low. That's what I always say.
Okay. All right. So just take us back and tell us a little bit about you.
Oh, geez.
Story.
Well, it's kind of funny because why I even started like doing Instagram or reels, it was because I was sort of at this major change in my life. No pun intended there either. But I was dealing with a bunch of health issues, and I was having to rest so much because of like pain and inflammation and fatigue and all this. And so it was coming up with things to do while I was in I call it my stupid chair. But And then I just thought, whatever, why don't I just start sharing some things on Instagram? And that's how it happened. Because I'm not a big outside of that, I'm not a big social media user.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's kind of how that started. I'm a substitute teacher. I used to teach full
Okay.
time. I got two kids, a 14-year-old from my first marriage,
Hmm.
and I have a 6-year-old now. And yeah, my husband's an air traffic controller, so he has a
Oh,
crazy sort of schedule. And
yeah.
so I'm sort of that at home, available, around, play
Nice.
date, Uber driver, mom.
Okay, I like it. Well, tell me, okay, so you said that you didn't say it here. I just happen to know this because we had this discussion that you have fibromyalgia. So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about that and what you're doing, how you're helping yourself, what treatments you're doing.
Okay, so I had a few different why I think I was and ended up getting diagnosed with fibromyalgia is I had been diagnosed with long COVID,
Mm.
and then I had a virus called parvovirus, and which affects kids a lot of the time, but adults it can affect much more severely. And then I also, in trying to figure out what was wrong, and having so much blood work done, I went the naturopath route, and
Hmm.
I ended up getting tested for mold toxicity illness,
Oh,
like mold
wow.
illness. So
Yeah.
it's super high levels of black mold. Anyways, and it kind of presented a lot like lupus, or Lyme's was two other things they were kind of trying to
Wow.
figure out if possibly I could have. So it was all those things. And then one day my body just quit. Like it was
Uh,
the end of April 2021, and I could barely get up. I could barely walk. My husband carried me around. I was like, I went from pretty
hmm.
healthy-ish, dealing with some of those things, but then my body just like shut down. And then we searched and searched for more and more things, and then luckily I got connected with a doctor who runs a complex chronic disease program out of
Hmm.
women's in Vancouver, where I'm located. And yeah, and I got help with some treatments and some medications and stuff, and along with my GP and my natural health practitioner. So it's kind of those things that
Yeah.
have improved me, but now I'm sort of still living in what I like to call a bit of an envelope.
Well, how long did it take for them to figure all of that out? Because it had to been very frustrating and scary to not be able to do
Oh,
anything and not have any answers.
absolutely. So I first was sick, like many people, like early on March 2020.
Yeah.
And then I sort of recovered from that, but would get sick really often, but not testing positive for COVID or anything, but just kept getting sick all that year. And then when I got
Hmm.
parvovirus, I was got super sick, to the emergency, all that kind of stuff. And then it was like months later when they did the mold stuff, and then I started treatment for that. So it was like about a year and a half, I'd say a year and a half of like up and down, and yeah, the not knowing and the trying to figure
Yeah.
out. And then when you get blood tests back that show there's nothing wrong, and you're like,
Right.
but what? So it was super frustrating. Yeah. I wasn't laughing through those moments.
No, I bet
That's for
not.
sure. No, I was not.
No, I bet not. Oh my gosh. But now you're in a happier place and you're sharing that happiness with other people. So I know
Oh,
you
thank you.
said that you had, sometimes you're in your chair. I think you called it your stupid chair.
My stupid chair. Yeah.
Your stupid chair. Um, so what can you do to make yourself feel better when you're in that moment and everything hurts? And okay, exercise is good, da 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 da, but you don't want to move at all. What can you do for yourself? What have they told you to do?
Yeah, so I've so been in that place, and I and not to sound like I'm jumping on any sort of like what do you like
A bandwagon or a
bandwagon or
yeah.
anything, yeah, but there's like a practice. I meditate every day, and I
Perfect.
have for like a couple of years.
Yeah.
And I think that has been my saving grace through like
Mm-hmm.
so much. And just
Mm-hmm.
like 10 minutes every day. And oh gosh, what I do gratitude because
Good.
like
Yeah.
connected with that, I do gratitude. And and honestly, I do try to find the humor in things. I have a father that is brilliantly funny, and he has MS, and he's suffered for gosh, 27 years with MS, terrible
Oh
pain and
gosh.
everything. And but he always seems to like see the silver lining, like can laugh, and I don't know. So I think about him a lot, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I can do this. I can get through this. Like it's not going to last forever.
Yeah.
So,
Oh
and I did
gosh.
like, I don't know, like I use that same chair to snuggle and have a snuggle and snack with my daughter after school. And I mean, I
It's
read
fun.
in that chair. I sometimes do my posts in that chair. I tried to learn the ukulele unsuccessfully in that chair. Um, just I don't know. It's my chair.
So the chair is a big part of your life. That's awesome.
It is.
And going back to what you said about meditation and how that's helped you, I think people get the wrong impression of meditation. They think just like sitting cross-legged, something silly
Yes.
like that you have to be perfectly still and perfectly quiet. And really, it is just learning how to train your thoughts and train
Yeah.
how you don't react to your thoughts. They're just there and
Yeah.
you have time for you.
Well, and I love it. I remember one was talking about, and I've done different like programs, and I've actually taken a couple different classes, and even as an educator, like doing mindfulness as an educator and things like that. And I love it. It's just like it's like a pause.
Hmm.
And it makes me think to pause in other areas of my life. Like we live in the pause, like things happen. And then if we pause, then we can totally control our reaction to
Hmm.
everything around us. So it's
Hmm.
like to me, it's like learning to live in the pause and then before just initially like reacting. And
Yeah. No,
I
that's
say
really
that, but
good.
I say that, but then at the same time, I'm known to just shoot my mouth off. So I don't know. Maybe I'm not successful at that. But I mean in the harder, darker stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's a balance. It's all a balance.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I was going to ask you too, tell me about your necklace. I see it in every reel. It's
Oh,
beautiful, and I want to know what it says. And
okay. Yeah, I do. Ever since I think I've had this one, I don't think I've maybe taken off a couple times. It's my two kids' names. It's just Eva and Makai, and it's
okay.
a little gold infinity. And they bought it from Etsy and gave it to me on a Mother's Day, I believe. I can't remember if it was Mother's Day or my birthday, but one of those,
It was a
one of
gift.
those. And I love it. And because I mean, us moms,
Yeah.
it always comes back to the kids.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. No, I love it. And I love that, once you start doing these reels, you realize there are certain parts that are in every single reel. And that's just one thing that I've noticed that I see in every
Okay,
single
that's so
reel.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
the,
yeah,
the
yeah,
guy
yeah, yeah.
before you that I interviewed, he always does all of his on his back deck. And I'm like, where the heck do you live? It's absolutely gorgeous.
Okay.
And yeah, he said
Oh,
that
where do you
just
live?
became in Florida.
Oh,
So
nice,
there's that.
beautiful.
Yeah. I'm in Kansas.
Warm.
So yeah. In fact, if you hear my chickens or roosters, they are out there running around
You
right
have
now.
chickens?
Yes. Yeah. Right now we have too many roosters. We have 3 roosters and 13 hens, and one
I'm
rooster
so
is getting
jealous.
ousted.
Oh, I'm so jealous because I would dream to live in a plot of land that's big enough. Oh, our land, we're not on a big enough place and we're right in smack in the suburbs, but our property's
Okay.
not big enough for chickens, I mean, for
Because I
turkeys.
was going to
Oh,
say,
I
because
want a
they don't
turkey.
take that much room and they're pretty easy.
I know, but I'm on like I've looked it
Okay.
up, our bylaws. I need
Oh,
to find
those. Yeah.
2,500 more square feet.
Dang it. Dang it. Dang the
But
rules.
I love it. I love that you have chickens.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's good. It's fun. And it's nice getting eggs. It was really nice getting all the eggs when eggs were so darn expensive. And
Oh
I don't know if
gosh,
they're
yeah.
expensive now anymore or not. I have no
They
idea.
still are. They still
Are
are.
they? Dang.
Yeah, up here I pay like 8.5 bucks, I think, for
Yeah.
organic free range.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
we
my
have.
body's a temple. Yeah.
You're paying for that temple.
I am.
So tell me, do you have any plans for like
Oh,
what's your next step with your Instagram? I
I
mean, your followers are it's growing.
it is, and like I say, I started this with no plan. I have
Yeah.
no plan. I just for me it offers like a bit of like a little creative outlet, a
Hmm.
little comedic relief. I tell my husband like, well, at least I can tell these people, and so you're not just my only audience, like
Yeah.
having to listen to all my weird ideas. But I have no idea, and I've never done a podcast, and I was so nervous.
Oh my gosh, that's
But I
funny.
thought I just got to start saying yes, and who
Yeah.
knows where anything will lead to. So
Yeah,
if
you don't
I,
know.
you don't know, and if I'm like entertaining some people out there and brightening their day, that means everything to me, and I feel purpose in that. So yeah.
Yes. Well, I often share your reels with some of my sisters. There are five of us girls, so I'll
Oh
send it
my
to a couple of
gosh.
them. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
But I
That's
mean,
amazing.
seriously, it's just so funny. So again, if you need to go to Instagram and follow Mediocre Mom 76 because you are going to get a kick out of it, especially if you're in the thick of menopause or perimenopause. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, the husband's just sneaking out.
The husband.
Was sneaking out. I told him I didn't want him around listening.
That's funny.
Like it's just a conversation. I'm like,
It's
eh.
just a conversation. That's right. That's
So
right.
do you do um health and wellness specifically like for menopausal or perimenopausal women or
No, not in particular. I've been in the
okay.
fitness industry for 22 years now. And so,
Mm.
yes, my training has changed from what it was in the very beginning. I'm much more understanding. My clients, may not say that right now, but I mean, I know what they're going through because now I'm in the thick of it too. But most of my clients are between like 50 and 75 would be probably the oldest. So, there's
Oh
hope.
wow.
I see the ones that survived, although they say it could be forever.
I know, but I'm hoping it just like get through like there's another side. I will
Yes.
have to say with this change though, the best part is the at least my experience, the confidence you have. Like you
Yeah.
really give zero
Yep.
anymore. Like
Yep.
you just I feel this freedom to be like 100% me
Yeah.
and that is wonderful. Like I
Yeah.
can't even imagine if we had that in our 20s, we'd be
I know.
weaponized.
I know. Our 20s and our 30s. I feel like in your 40s, you start getting it. And then
Yeah.
in your 50s, you're like, okay, yeah. And the other thing that I think happens too is, and maybe not so much now, you have a daughter, you can tell me, but I feel like people feel like they're comparing each other or competing against each other. And when you get to our age, it's just lifting the next girl up.
Yes, 1000%. And you have
Hmm.
no idea what struggle or challenge someone else is going. Absolutely. Yeah.
Hmm.
No, a sense of sisterhood. I know I've never been like closer to some of my like friends. Um, Actually, I was laughing last night because I have this group chat with eight of us that all met sort of when some of us are childhood friends, and then we all met though when we were like 19, 20.
Yeah.
And starting in COVID, we started this like group chat and it has not stopped. And it every day
That's
for
awesome.
4 years. And last night, people were just sending, or the day before, were sending pictures of all their supplements
Oh.
that they're taking now. And so that's what inspired me for that reel the other day is just like, oh my God, that's all we're just like these pharmacies now. I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you taking? What do you take? What helps this? Helps this. And so that was like our all chat. And I was like, oh God, things have changed since we all met when
Yes.
we were 20.
Uh-huh. Yep. Yep.
But I love those girls. Yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
love
really
my
cool that you have that
girlfriends.
group. Yeah. And
Yeah,
I think a
yeah,
lot of people found those groups, at that time too. And I feel like some peeled off. Like you just didn't need people the way that you needed them. And that happens naturally in life too. As your kids
yeah.
get older, you'll find out that all the people that you spend time with now, like their friends' parents, then all of a
Yes,
sudden that's gone. They grow up, they move away, and you keep the ones that you're supposed to keep, and then you just learn and move on from the others.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I just remembered too, sorry,
Okay.
when you said when you can't do anything, like when if like the pain or fatigue or weakness,
Oh, yeah.
one thing my naturopath had got me started on, and it was Qigong, and I don't know if I'm saying it. I
Yeah.
hope I'm
Yeah.
saying it correctly. Anyways, yeah, like that gentle movement and like doing it for like 5 minutes or something. Um,
Good.
I confess I'm not practicing regularly that now, but in moments when like you don't have much, like a walk around the block isn't an option.
Right.
There's that, and just yeah, that was the other thing
Oh, that's wonderful.
I thought
No,
of.
that's really good. That also teaches you more to slow down to and
Yeah,
listen to your body. And if it doesn't feel quite right, then don't do it. I mean, that's my whole
yeah.
thing is I always tell people if something doesn't feel right, don't do it.
Yeah. And I remember I was looking up like, those classes at the rec center because I'm a
Hmm.
big fan of rec centers because I used to work at one and they're super affordable and I
Yep.
just think they're great places. But I was looking at like, oh, maybe I'll take a class or something. This wasn't too long ago. And the ones that sounded good to me were like 55 and 55 plus classes. The
Oh,
ones that
okay.
are like chair yoga or what, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't remember now, but I was like, oh, those sound no, no. But like gentle movement.
Yeah. You could
They should
teach your
open those
own
up for all of
gentle
us.
movement class. Yes.
Yeah. No age restrictions. That's what I'm looking
Yeah.
for next time at the rec center.
Absolutely. I can kind of see those reels coming from your chair, a gentle
Oh,
movement
thank you for the
chair.
idea. Thank you for the
Yeah. I'm
idea.
gonna look for
Yes,
that. Yeah.
yes. A friend of mine actually also does yin yoga.
Uh-huh.
And so um done a couple classes or a couple rounds with her, like, and just in the evening. And I mean, yin yoga, like, it kind of intimidated me before because I was like, how do you hold poses for like minutes and minutes? But wasn't what I thought. And it kind of any body sort of in you can sit into any sort of position, like whatever
Hmm.
your body can do,
Hmm.
that's where you sit. And so that's nice too. That's nice
Yeah.
too. Yin
Yeah.
yoga. I don't know if that's it. That's all I can think
Okay.
of for my gentle movements.
Well, Kara, I'm wondering if you would have a piece of advice for anyone that finds themselves newly diagnosed for with fibromyalgia. Is there anything that you would
Uh
recommend besides following
well,
you?
well, and I don't really talk about it much because
Yeah,
it's a funny diagnosis in that I think it's really misunderstood.
I do too.
And and a lot of people think, oh, they just give you fibromyalgia when they don't know what you have. And that's correct in some cases. There are like certain markers that
Hmm.
you have to kind of check off to be like what for them to diagnose you as fibromyalgia. A lot of times it is like a rule out diagnosis, like you don't have
Hmm.
this, you don't have this, you don't have this. So, but just um oh, what would my advice be? Like, it's not the end. It's not the
Hmm.
end. Like, it's just a new chapter, a new phase. Like, there are medications that hopefully, you find, like I found some that work with my pain and soft tissue and joint. Um, Supplements out there. There are certain like treatments. Like I get a lymphatic drain massage, which
Oh, good.
I
Yeah.
I call my gentle petting. I say, oh, I'm off to my gentle petting because it's just like, well, you can't see because it's video. It's not video, but you just stroke. So I just find a nice person that you don't mind stroking you. And, and I do that and I feel like it absolutely helps. I get what's it called? Trigger point injections. Now I'm
Oh, yeah.
remembering everything when you're asking me. I'm like,
Yeah.
trigger point injections where they actually put lidocaine into your muscles for
Okay.
some pain relief. And I also get needling on my fascia,
Oh,
not
good. Yeah.
acupuncture but that provides some relief. So I mean, just don't give up. There is some pain management out there, and
Hmm.
there's treatments out there that you will find. There's communities out there that will support you and understand you, and whether it's something on social media or in your community. um I think the hardest time, like so many um things that are sort of invisible, like when I feel good, I look fine, and so people think, oh, they don't know what you're kind of
Yeah.
going through, or the pain or the weakness, or the fact that you were just horizontal
Yeah.
for how many hours. So that not having people believe you or understand is a big hurdle to kind of overcome.
Sure.
And and sometimes you can't make people. You just have to
Yeah.
live your life, do what you can, live in like what I call an envelope. Like I know what I can do. I know what I can't. Like I just sort of,
Yeah.
and hopefully have people around that support. I have a super supportive husband, and
Good. Good.
so find people, keep your people that support you and believe you around you,
Yeah.
and who knows what it will start. I don't work as much anymore, but now I do this silly thing. So
Yeah.
you never know. You
And
never know.
laugh. Laugh.
Yeah.
Always laugh. Find the humor in whatever
Always.
you can.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yep.
Just the pain does not last forever, hopefully.
Yes. Yes. And you're not alone. You're not alone.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely. No.
well, Kara, I really appreciate you spending the time with me and sharing your story. And I look forward to more of your reels.
Well, thank you so much. I hope I did
Yeah.
okay.
You did great. I'm going to put everything in the show notes so
Yeah.
then
Okay.
everyone can find you. So thank you
Okay.
so much. All right. Please go check out Mediocre Mom 76 on Instagram. And I hope you find her reels as entertaining as I do. There's nothing better than a real person reel. Here are a few takeaways from our conversation. 1, menopause can be so weird and frustrating, so being able to laugh about it truly helps. 2, always be your real, authentic self. 3, no matter what your diagnosis, you are not alone. Find the right healthcare professionals that you feel comfortable with, do what feels right, and laugh as often as you can. 4, meditation is not just some woo thing. It truly helps you train your thoughts. 5, we live in the pause. Things happen, and if we pause, then we can totally control our reaction to everything around us. Learn to live in the pause. 6, you've heard me say it so many times before, but find an exercise regimen that works for you and your body, and only move in a way that feels good to you. 7, keep your people that you love, believe in you, and support you around you as much as possible. Thanks again, Kara. Thank you for listening. If you're enjoying this podcast, be sure to follow Spandex and Wine so you don't miss an episode. To do this, just go to the podcast and click subscribe or follow wherever you are listening. Look for the plus sign or follow button. This is one of the best things that you can do for the podcast. If you'd also be willing to give a 5-star review, that would be amazing and much appreciated. Lastly, please share an episode with a friend or 5 to keep the love going, and join the Spandex and Wine community in our private Facebook group by searching Spandex and Wine. Feel free to reach out to me at any time by emailing info@spandexandwine.com or text me at 913-392-2877. I appreciate you. Thank you.